talked to a student recently at one of our woke college campuses who said she is required in every class to introduce herself and to give her pronouns. Well, I'm Ted Cruz, and my pronoun is kiss my ass.
Well, there you go. That sounds like a Monday morning salute, doesn't it? Kiss my ass. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is 0dark30. I'm blasting out of the bunker. Oh, you bet. We all, what? Getting out of the blast? John, be careful. Don't blast out and blast off. Don't crash too hard. Well, there's a subject that came up. It's just a news story. It's not even a subject. But I'm curious that as we improvisationally discuss this topic, this event, what's going to come out of it using an SHTF, what in the world is going on perspective. So, in New Jersey, a guy named John Hargrove, something like that, sounds pretty white to me, decided he was going to go crash a few parties or make a few parties. So he crashed into someone's garage. Then he intentionally crashed his car. Actually, take that back. His SUV. He crashed his SUV into a police station. Now, when I looked at the picture, I thought, could it be? Oh, it did. It looked rather like the Terminator with a car parked in the desk section. So this guy crashes his SUV into a police station, and he was blasting "Welcome to the Jungle." Indeed, "Welcome to the Jungle" by Guns N' Roses. Their lead-off song in their tumultuous rock and roll history, "Welcome to the Jungle." Well, this man, John, is obviously being arrested. And he's being charged, though they don't really know his motive, but he's being charged with terrorism. And the police are saying, his spokesman, the government mouthpiece, is saying he could get life in prison for this. Interesting, is it not? Quite interesting. So, I am not glamorizing or glorifying this idiot's behavior. Clearly, if he had, a real plan, a real motive, a real goal, he could have gotten a little further than just crashing a freaking SUV. So at first I thought the SUV would be a clue. And then I realized, no, it wasn't a giant gas-guzzling, carbon-spewing, ecological destruction machine that only a Republican would own. Everyone owns SUVs these days. So that wasn't what was going on. But I thought, wow, this guy, he's going to be charged with terrorism for crashing into a police station. As far as I know, no police were injured. No police were killed. Some government property was destroyed. But he's being charged with terrorism without knowing his motive. Now, terrorism is using violence or the threats of violence to create a political outcome favorable to your agenda. Like BLM, Black Lives Matter, or Antifa, a communist organization that uses threats of violence and actual violence to try and accomplish its political objectives. True terrorism. And how many of them were allowed to burn? Well, businesses, homes, automobiles, private property, public property, courtrooms, courthouses, and police stations. Were these people arrested? A few, but they were out there in the hundreds and hundreds in multiple cities doing nightly, not just every now and then, but nightly riots of destruction. Not only were they trying to set things on fire, they did set things on fire. They did destroy things. Their objective Defund the police. All cops are bastards. Remember this shit? So they did what? They attempted to murder police. They did murder police. They maimed police. They injured police. They committed all acts of mayhem and chaos. Felonies after felonies after felonies every fucking night. Nothing done about it by either the mayors or the governors. While the President of the United States, Donald Trump, sat back and went, what the fuck can I do about this? He ordered people. And while at the RMZ, I spoke with a retired federal law enforcement officer who explained to me why they couldn't help. Because, you know, law enforcement is so different for each agency. No, standing there with a shield and beating the hell out of terrorists doesn't take a special type of training. They shouldn't. But here we are. So this guy, this John Hargrove character, he needs to go to life in jail. Spend the life in jail. Now, look, I really don't have a problem with sending this clown, this kook, to jail for life. It sounds more like he needs to go to a lunatic asylum. And I think that would probably be a better place for him, except we don't really have asylums anymore. A political asylum means, right, you're given reprieve, comfort. You know, you're removed from another country that's evil. You get asylum. And insane asylums where they're removed from life, the threats and harms of everyday life because they're fucking lunatics. Well, this guy, right? Why would he do it? He ran into someone's garage. And then he rammed the police station. I mean, he could have had a very good reason. And this was the extent of his power and authority to do anything about it, to try and punish those that harmed him in some way. Or he just randomly attacked people and drove into them. But to call it terrorism in the town of New Independence or whatever the name of this little New Jersey town is, there's not a whole lot of political stuff that you're going to get out of a little Jersey town. But once again, terrorism's terrorism, and we shouldn't allow it at any scale. I get it. But it is also a sign of the times, of SHTF, of how quickly people can pop their freaking cap and go off and lose their shit. I think it is. I think it really is an indicator of how dangerous people can be and how quickly they can lose their shit and how they can take actions that are incredibly dangerous. Now, again, should you live your life in fear? And don't go out. Don't go out because people are out there. People are the most dangerous thing on the planet. Yeah, asteroids are bad. They sure are. You know, oh, aliens are scary. Volcanoes are destructive. Yeah, tsunamis can happen. Hurricanes will sneak up on you. It takes them, anywhere from 5 days to 10 days to sneak up on you, but they'll sneak up on you. But people, yeah, they really are the most dangerous. Because one moment they can be normal, and the next moment they can flick the frequency modulator on a 5G cell tower and hone in on the human mind and hit it with the that special frequency that causes humans to become very angry, excited, stimulate their medulla oblongata, and cause them to go into fits of rage that can only be satisfied releasing adequate amounts of dopamine only when they commit acts of violence and murder. But enough of that, right? These people here, this guy committed an act of terror. Just one. Imagine if 2 in a little town did that, or 4 in a little town. How about a big city where a dozen go nuts? Well, when something bad happens, folks, what do the police do? They don't send 1 cop. Something bad happens, they send 5 or 6 or 7. Hell, in this little town I'm in right now that I'm driving through, I've seen an accident, and there'll be upwards of 5 cops. I've seen up to 10 10 cars. That's probably every dang police officer in the town that's on duty. 10 cars show up to make sure traffic goes here and goes there. They stop traffic, they block traffic, they detour traffic. That's one incident. A car accident. What happens if there's a coordinated attack of stupid? What if instead of one John Hargrove with Welcome to the Jungle, right, you have 10 crazed Democrat morons listening to Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train, and they decide to try and make a difference? What then? Well, we're right back to 2020, where we learned there aren't enough police to do anything. There aren't. You cannot police people enough. You can arrest people. Hey, you can shoot people, but you can't police them. There's not enough to police them. It relies on people to voluntarily behave. Shit, it hits the fan, folks. People are going to be losing it. It will be a welcome to the jungle scenario. And heaven forbid, but it's possible. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. Regular people decide to take law into their own hands and protect themselves from what these lunatics, these left-wingers are going to do. Because when they finally step over that line, decide to take action, it's going to be real action. It's going to be decisive. This isn't a threat. It's just a prediction. Predicting what can come. Because chance favors the prepared mind. We all should be prepared. Godspeed, Semper Fi. Zero Dark 30, out.